picture, we need to know if we have sound or not. And I can't do that until either you tell me we have sound or... Yeah, well, I have sound on the ads. Yep, yay! All right, let's pop out the chat. I came in a little bit early in case I had to restart my phone like 5 times, right? Hey, everybody, welcome to Tea with Mrs. V. It's been a wild weekend. And I don't mean wild and crazy. I mean, it's just been totally an emotional roller coaster for me this weekend. And I have never had such an emotional birthday in my whole life. Hi, hi, hi. So while everyone comes in, I'm going to go make a fresh cup of tea. And just, and look, I had my disco ball hanging up and it fell. Look at this. Look, it's just it's a styrofoam ball, but all they've done is, oh, that is a thing. This is the only thing holding it in there. So I think I'm going to have to fill that with hot glue and then put that back in. That's my disco ball. I wish I had an Ornimotion. Do you remember Ornimotions? And then I would put my speaker on top and I would hang it in the box. I'm going to have to look for an Ornimotion. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, I'm going to go get a cup of tea. You guys keep each other company and while I go get a fresh tea, okay? Let everybody know who's coming in. What? Not yet. Yes, I got a nice big pile of laundry here I have to fold, which Gracie is thinking you're just gonna have to wait a minute, you. I still have enough tea left in my cup, so we can wait for the kettle to boil. Oh my goodness. Hey, Martha Holcomb. Are you listening to this? You can be louder than that. What? 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 You need your snuggles until the people come in? Let me see. You got eye snot. Check that out. Yes, you do on that one. It's nasty. It's like you got a hair in there or something. You get it. There, we got it. Good job, Ace. Gracie, listen. Oh my goodness. Just because I turn the phone on and I start talking to it doesn't mean, oh yes, that feels good, doesn't it? It doesn't mean it's your time. Well, I guess it is her time to be on camera, isn't it? Oh my God. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. There. Can I have a kiss now? You're not. This is the kidney bean. She wants me to scratch her bum. Oh, right there. Oh. Mommy knows the spots, doesn't she? Hey? Now, you say thank you to everybody for putting up with your nonsense. And they put up with it because they love you almost as much as I do. Okay? We'll lay down. No, we're done. We're done. Don't make eye contact. She's looking around for something she can... Do you see that? She's looking around for a toy that she can throw on the floor, which she didn't bring one in. She wants to throw a toy on the floor and then whine. Not whine. She doesn't whine. She grumbles. It's like, how am I supposed to get that toy off the floor? You got to pick it up for me. Right? My kettle just boiled. We'll be right back. You watch. She's going to go get a toy now. Yep, she's gone into the living room to get a squeaky toy so that she can bring it back in here, be told to be quiet with it. Oh, she didn't bring it in. Oh, make a liar out of me. Hey, hey, hey. What's going on, Linda? What's going on? You mean the engine light was on? Then they're just going to plug it into the computer and run a diagnostic on it, and they'll tell you exactly what the problem is. But don't let them cheat you. They will always try and upsell you. Thank you, JM. Thank you. Thank you. Now, the toy at the edge of the bed. Now watch. It's going to end up on the floor, and she's going to ask me to pick it up for her. Hey, 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 hey. So, here a weird weekend. She's already growling. Stop making noise. Look at this. It's right on the edge of the bed. I'm just going to... There it goes. Now watch. While I get complaints because it's on the floor and that I should be picking it up. You see this? I'm supposed to notice this. This is, here it starts. Here's the complaints. Oh, mommy, I dropped my toy on the floor and you need to pick it up for me. What, Gracie? She knows she's got my attention now. What, Gracie? What is it? What is it? What do you want? I'm supposed to know, but you won't. What? Say that again? You want your duck. What do you say? Instead of whining, say please. All right. I'm telling you, she doesn't feel right. And now she's going to lay down on the bed. There's my pile of laundry I got to do next. Now watch, the bum will go down and she'll feel like she's gotten enough attention and she'll just, noise. Hey, 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 quietly, please. And she'll lay down. Yep. Talk about, and Howie does not believe me when I say she has a very strict routine about how she does things. When's your birthday, JM? JM. Your birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday to you. Oh, someone else is getting attention. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sweet JM. Happy birthday to you. Now what were we talking about? Good morning. I was waiting for you to come on. I want to use raised beds this year. My soil is horrible. Question. Are raised beds closed on the bottom or open? They're open. You got to allow for worms and drainage and all kinds of stuff. And if you're going to do a raised bed, depending on how high it is, right? If you're doing a raised bed that is in contact with the ground and it's more than 2 feet, you want to put shredded cardboard and raked leaves and chopped brush and all, wood chips and all that stuff into about 1/3 of the bottom of the bed. And then top it right to the top. She's going to start as soon as I start. And you fill it right to the top with soil and you plant in that. And then next year, you'll notice that your soil has gone down because things are composting in the bottom, right? And then you top your soil up. But always start with, especially if it's rocky and poor soil, you want some nutrient-rich stuff that's going to break down over time and feed your garden. You know, Howie's car just turned 300,000 kilometers, turned over 300,000 kilometers. That's like roughly like 150,000 miles. My truck's at 150,000 kilometers. Not even. Okay. Oh, you're quite welcome, JM. You're quite welcome. So I still have not got my second raised bed. I still have not got my money back. I still haven't received my too small jelly, my jelly brows that are going to be too small because it was Christmas and I was medicated when I ordered them. And what else hasn't come? Oh yeah, something else I ordered. I have to check my email on that one. Somebody's getting pouty because we're not worshiping her. We're not worshiping her. She's over there going, because something's on the floor again. But we're not doing that twice. Because then it sets an expectation that she can just throw things on the floor whenever she feels like it and disrupt my life. Not happening. Where's my scissors? Where are my scissors? There they are. So, 2009. Yeah, the newer they are, the easier they break down. I swear it. I really do. Okay, where did my card go that I'm cutting on? There we go. So supper's in the oven. Not in the oven. Supper's in the crock pot. And here's what's going on. Oh, you've noticed I've taken the tree out of here, right? My office is now filling up faster than a jackrabbit on a date with junk. So we're going to have to do something with that soon because I got to put a plant table in there. I'm going to be starting I wanted to get myself a heating mat. You know, the mats that go on the bottom you put them underneath your peppers and stuff because peppers need it to be warm for them to germinate really well, right? So I'm going to have to start cleaning it up soon. Now I'll show you what I got coming on. Well, it's in the dining room. I have new backdrop. And what upset, okay. Let's start back on Friday. Nobody's here, Gracie. Howie was in a grumpy mood. I was going to take Briar grocery shopping, but I hadn't slept all night. Last night was the first real sleep I've got in 3 days. And it was 3 hours on us asleep, up for an hour, couple hours down, up for an hour. You know what I mean? But at least I got some. So I hadn't slept all Thursday night, and neither did Briar. I phoned Briar in the morning. I said, honey, I haven't slept. I'm just now getting to sleep. I can't do this. And he said, it's all right, Mom. I had the same kind of night. And I'm noticing that a lot of people are having issues with headaches, dizziness, and sleeplessness. Now, remember, none of us has that number with the letter in front of it on our phones. But I swear they rev them up just to see what it does to people. The towers. They switch it on. And it'll say 5G on my phone, but my phone isn't 5G capable. So what the hell are they trying to tell me? Right? Anyway, so where's my other bag? Where's my other bag? I know I have another bag. Oh, there it is. So, hope I did that fast enough. So Howie was going to stop and get milk and cheese and dairy products anyway. So I said, you're just going to get groceries. And he was not happy. He'd had a really crappy day on Friday. He had a really crappy day, and it was the weather, and he was tired, and he didn't want to do the groceries, but he did them anyway. And it was just, everybody seemed to be off on Friday. Everybody seemed to be testy and aggravated and grumpy. Everybody I talked to. So I didn't talk to much of anybody on Friday. And then on my birthday was Saturday, right? And I tried to explain it, and I tried to write about it, but it's taken me a few days to... What? Don't you talk to me like that. There's nothing. Mommy's talking, and you're being disruptive. No, you're being disruptive. This dog, I'm telling you. What? What is going on with you today? So anyway, I went to bed, and I had a really crappy night, but I did start falling asleep about 3:30 in the morning, Saturday morning. And I slept for a couple of hours. God, this is really disruptive. Listen, you. Listen. Where's my kiss? Give me a kiss. Oh, you're a bitch. Oh, okay, that's enough. You've already had snuggles. Take your squeaky and go. So, well, she knows that's the mummy place, eh? You all know the story. If you don't know the story, tell me I don't know the story about why she identifies with my cleavage. Anyway, right around 5:36 in the morning. I don't know what time it was. I don't know. I was waking up. And there's this place between waking or between sleeping and waking when reality blurs with your waking mind, your sleeping mind. Your waking mind and your sleeping mind kind of cross places. And at first, I described it as getting a text, but somewhere in my brain, in that in-between place, I heard my brother say, happy birthday, verbally. Now, there is only 3 people on the face of the earth that are allowed to call me verbally. And it's because my Uncle Bill, my mom's brother up from her, nicknamed me verbally when I was little. And my cousin Sean and my brother Bob. Sean is was Uncle Bill and Aunt Gladys' youngest. Only my brother Bob and Sean were ever allowed to call me verbally. Okay? There's few people that are allowed to call me Bevy, right? But anyway, I heard it and I woke up thinking, am I getting a text? Am I getting a call? Am I on the phone? You know that confusing place? And I woke up. As I was waking up, I was grabbing the phone to answer, to talk to my brother. And then reality sunk in. And I didn't howl. I just went, oh, no. And you see, I've had a lot of things go on since my brother died. So I haven't had a real chance to properly grieve. I've lost my mother-in-law. I lost my cousin Susie. It's been one of those couple of years, right? But I just started to weep. And I phoned Howie, and I must have been like 10 in the morning. And I phoned Howie, and he goes, what? And I said, where are you? Because I thought he'd be in the shop. And he said, no, I'm in the living room. I said, well, come here, I need a snuggle. So he came in and he propped the pillow up against the headboard, and he sat in the bed, laid, half reclined in the bed so I could have a snuggle. And I told him, and I cried, and I cried, and I cried. Then I got up and had a pee. And it wasn't like I was sobbing. It wasn't a violent thing. It was just a leaky kind of weepy thing. And that went on all friggin' day. I couldn't talk to people. I phoned my sister. And told her, right? And Connie, where's Connie? Bob, is this my Connie from Apsley, or like Connie and Patsy? So anyway, this and as when I was awake, I realized that what I hadn't been noticing was it was my 62nd birthday on Saturday, right? Bob died in February 2 years ago. So it'll be 2 years in February. And he was 62. He was also the closest brother to me in age. And as children, we fought like cats and dogs. I bet you he still had scars from the scratches I put on him. But we fought back to back just as hard. You know what I mean? So, absolutely, Connie. Yeah. Bob died. Bob died of an embolism, blood clot that went to his lung. And all of his organs were double in size. His internal organs were huge. It took 10 men with a tarp to get my brother out of his house. Anyway, so that was Saturday morning-ish, right? And my sister must have put out the call. Oh, and my niece Bronwyn, Bob's youngest, texted me, and happy birthday. And without thinking, because I was early, I just texted her back saying I just had a really rough morning. That, and I now know that somewhere between the waking and the sleeping and the waking, my brother phoned me to say happy birthday. Because he'd come up with some of the thing. Some days sometimes it'd be, happy birthday, Beulah. Right? But it was happy burp day. My brother was great with potty humor. Happy birthday, Burbly. And so that just weakened my defenses all day. I couldn't talk to anybody really, except and Howie didn't tell me to relax. He didn't say anything. He was just present for me all friggin' day. He said, he said, I got to go to Canadian Tire. You want to get out? And it's like, yes, I need to get out of the house. It was beautiful. It was sunny. And we figured out we wanted to go to Princess Auto, Canadian Tire, and Dollarama. So being Saturday, some places close at 5, especially in Quebec. So we went into Ottawa. Anyway, we mapped out where we were going to go according to which stores closed first. And, oh yeah, I got to put on my little sign. I got at Princess Auto. Oh. I know you'll see it backwards, but there we go. So, was a crappy month for me. My dad passed away on Christmas Day, 2017. Haven't really grieved yet. I have it to hit me from time to time. The problem with that when they die, so when a loved one dies so close to a holiday, is we kind of go like this, right? Because we don't want to ruin holidays for other people. So we shut down the entire grieving process because we don't want to attach it to a holiday. And that's totally wrong. Because you shut down the grieving process, it does get attached to the holiday. So you really need to, I recommend, now I am not a professional friggin' anything. I've just lost a lot of people. And what you may want to do is get yourself like just an old notebook or something, a ruled notebook, like a kid's notebook for school, and start journaling. And don't, excuse me, don't hold back. Don't hold back when you're journaling. Let yourself literally vomit your emotions onto the paper and don't reread it. If you stop to read what you're writing, you're going to say, somebody's going to read this and call me a crazy person and put me in the loony bin. Don't. Just write and write and write until you can't write anymore. Close the book, put it aside, and walk away for a week. Or until you feel emotionally capable of looking at what you wrote. And then when you look at what you wrote, you will be calm enough to read between the lines and you will see the emotion. And then you will start to figure out, okay, that's where that emotion's coming from. That's where that emotion's coming from. Okay? And there is no time limit on grief, honey. None. Right? But holiday deaths are the worst because people don't get the chance to grieve correctly. Does that make sense? Oh, I'm telling you, Karen, that's my brother. All right, listen. Oh, so before I go any further, hang on a second. So we spent the day going out. Howie kept me out and pottering around stores, and none of them had electric carts. So I'm really, really sore today. I was really, really sore yesterday because I got in and out of the truck for 3 stores and I walked around 3 stores. Howie did the last 2 because we ended up going, he stopped at the grocery store to get a rotisserie chicken and some popcorn for me. Actually, he stopped at Walmart after we left Dollarama. He said, "Did you get your popcorn?" Because he got me a popcorn maker for Christmas for my birthday. And he made me go to Canadian Tire, walk through Canadian Tire, down the aisle of the popcorn makers. He said, "Pick the one you want." Right? Hi, Kyla. How you doing, sweetheart? So it was a day of just keeping Bev doing, keeping me occupied and outside of myself while I walk through stores, and I went to Dollarama to get new backdrops. See that beautiful Christmas backdrop that I got from Dollarama? So I expected, I don't know, spring, plaid, something. All they had was party balloon tablecloths and solid colors. So I got kind of an aqua sky blue that I'm going to do next. So everybody, we're at 108 people. Everybody, I'm going to continue to tell you what's going on. Anyway, the getting in and out of the truck at Canadian Tire and walking around Canadian Tire. And yes, I did find places to sit down. There was one pallet of the 5-gallon. They're rotten. Did you guys get that buffer? That's terrible. Anyway, I took down 2 cases of bottled water and sat on them while I waited for Howie. But I got in and out of the truck at Canadian Tire, walked around Canadian Tire, got in and out of the truck. And, first it was Princess Auto, then it was Canadian Tire, then it was Dollarama. And then I realized, Howie said, did you get popcorn at Dollarama? And I said, no, they don't carry Orville Redenbachers. So he stopped at Walmart, got me some Orville Redenbachers. And then we said, well, what do you want for supper? And he goes, I said, you can have whatever you want, just shawarma, whatever, right? We'll get shawarma or a sub, right? And he goes, well, why don't we stop at the IJ and get a rotisserie chicken? I said, that sounds a lot better. But it was dried out on the legs were like tough on the leg meat was a little tough on the outside. But anyway, when we got home, and he got me he got some vanilla pudding, and I made a banana pie. Because at the dollar store, I got a graham cracker crust pie thing. And I just sliced up 2 bananas in it and mixed up a vanilla pudding and poured it over top and let it set. And we had it with whipped cream. Way, way, way too sweet for me. 2 bites was all I could take. Anyway, everybody say hi while I do my business. Everybody say hi, and then we'll do a shout out. Because there's a lot of people here today. We're at 113 people. And after this, there will be reading with Beverly Wolfe. We're going to do, I do believe it's chapter, I don't know what chapter it is, but we're going to do the next chapter of Christy. And then, of course, it's Monday Patrons Live. So everybody say hi. Let me just fix what I'm doing here. There once was a girl named Judy Finnegan. She had whiskers on her chin again. Like me. The wind came up and blew them in again. Poor old Judy Finnegan. Judy Finnegan began again. We'll do something else with whiskers instead of whiskers, though. So, yeah. So when I woke up yesterday, I could barely move. All day. I stayed in bed. I was in so much pain. I stayed in bed till 2 o'clock yesterday. And I said to Howie, when I got up, what do you want for supper? What do you want me to take out for supper or whatever? He said, well, I just had some leftover rotisserie chicken and some wedgie fries and some salads. He said, so I don't know. What do you want for supper? He said, I could eat some fried egg sandwiches. So we had fried egg sandwiches for supper last night. That's a Sunday dinner, but I'm making up for it today. Hang on. All right, now let us. Whoa, don't you go away. Don't you go away. You get back here. You belong in there. So I don't have. Okay. Let's say hello to. Hey, Kimmy Blackrock, Brenda Hoffer, Claire Quinn, Aaron M, Happy Guy Jack, Irene Brady. Now, there's a new name. Hello, Irene. Either you're a lurker who doesn't talk much, or you just you're new here. Either way, it's good to see ya. Jan Coldwater, Judy Finnegan, begin again. Judy Kent, Karen Voller, Kyla, my niece Kyla, Lady Luck, Linda Bopp, Missy Royer, Minnesota Farmer's Wife Julie, Mary Jo Mosley, Plain Jane, Regina Barilla. How do you pronounce that? Regina Barilla, Robin Rose, Shell's part-time, Shell Spare Time, Sue Hagen, and Unbridled Creation. Hey, Creation. How's everybody doing today? So, yeah. So yesterday I did pretty much, that's not true. I did some dishes. I did cook fried egg sandwiches. Howie had, and it's funny, Howie, we call them yolky egg sandwiches, right? Because we don't toast the bread. It's soft, and we want the yolk slightly runny so that when you cut it in quarters, you got yolk. You pick up your quarter and you dip it in yolk. Now, Howie likes 2, and he gets an egg on each sandwich. So he gets 4 slices of bread, 2 eggs. I'm the fat one too. But he's physically much more active than me. I get 2 eggs on 1 sandwich because that's just the way I can't eat 2 egg sandwiches, but I want the protein. So just work them while you listen. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, the story of Gracie in my chest. Okay. We got Gracie in April 2015. And she was, they said, 8 weeks old. Now, it was hard to tell because her mother was the same size she is. Her mother was very small. We don't know where her dad was. Howie said, I swear I saw her dad. And he said, no. I said, no, Howie. But he told us it was a normal size fawn boxer was her dad. But it wasn't like a pet place. It wasn't a proper breeder. It was just some hillbilly folks out in Montebello whose dog got pregnant by another boxer. And we didn't want a brindle boxer because our last boxer had been brindle, and we didn't want to associate. We wanted her to have her own space. So he said, over the phone, he said, I have 1 fawn female left. And I said, save it. We're on our way. So we got there, and her belly was swollen, right? But she was little. And her mom has the same body language. Gracie has the same body language as her mom. Don't tell me it's not genetic. Anyway, because she looks exactly like her mom, except her mom was brindle. I don't know how to describe it. If you're not a dog person, you don't understand what I mean when I say she looked exactly like her mom, except her mom was brindle. Yeah. So we brought her home, and it was a 3-hour drive to Montebello where we went to pick her up. And I started training her right away. As soon as we had to stop, I said, Howie, we got to stop for a pee. And so Howie got out of the truck, and he took her, and he wandered around, and she had a little pee. I said, praise her for peeing outside. So we got back in the truck, and up until that point, she had slept under Howie's hand next to his leg. And then when she came in, they got back in the truck. She was like, okay, I'm in a really strange place with strange people, and I don't recognize the terrain because we had been driving. And so I picked her up, and I was wearing like a shirt like this, but with sleeves, and a light hoodie. And that puppy crawled right into my hoodie and into my cleavage, where she felt safe. And she rode the rest of the way home in my cleavage. And when we got home, I gave her a little Caesar food, and I put a half a teaspoon of diatomaceous earth on it. And I'm telling you, she bit, her little teeth were like needles, because I went to stir it in with my finger, and she bit my finger. And it wasn't because she was being aggressive. She was not aggressive at all. It was because my finger got in the way of her, in between her and the food, right? And the next day, her poop was full of worms. So we ended up taking her to the vet. getting her all checked out. And we got her fixed before her first menses. So when you fix a female dog before their menses, before their puberty, they're forever a puppy up here and in here, right? Yeah. I'm back, had grandmom's stuff to do. Hey, Mama Dukes. So that is her place where she feels, even if I have a t-shirt on, she'll still stick her face right there. She sticks her face. That's her mummy place. That's the place where she goes, I'm being an asshole, but if you still rub my ears and let me in my mummy place, it means I'm okay. That's the story of, she had a lot of fleas and she was starving. Yeah. And she was afraid of brooms and half open doors. Brooms and half open doors. It took us 9 years to the point where she could push open a half open door and come in herself. But she'd look at half open doors. She wouldn't go near them. So I know for a fact she got accidentally closed and it got caught by a door when it was closing or opening, and probably got swept away with a broom a couple of times by the female of the house or whatever. So, but it took us like 9 years to get her to the point where she is not, and she's still. And Nan mistakenly, Nan mistakenly solidified the stick thing, because we have a yardstick somewhere in this house, probably on top of those dressers. And when her and Frankie were together and they would get going, right? I said to Nan, just slap the couch. They're fighting or whatever on the floor. Just slap the couch, or if they're getting too crazy on the couch, just slap the couch with the stick, and they'll get off and they'll break it up. She was hitting them with the yardstick. And Gracie's not good. So if I get a broom or a stick or anything in the house, she stays out of reach. So anyway, my next dog is either going to be a boxer or a Rottweiler. Just remember, Journey, can I ask how old you are, darling? Because big dogs have big poops. And Howie's the one who cleans up the outdoor poops. Right? I'm the one who puts her in and out all day long. Howie may do it twice in a day or an evening. Right? I'm the one who trains them. Right? I'm the one who puts them in and out. A wide berth, absolutely. Okay, just remember that if you're going to get a boxer or a Rottweiler, they are big dogs, and you have to train them right from the get-go not to pull on the leash. Right? Gracie will get all excited and she'll pull on the leash and she'll forget I'm the one holding the other end, and I'll say, Gracie, don't pull. Don't pull on Mom. And she'll remember it's Mom on the leash, and she'll walk more sedately. But when you got big dogs, that's the first thing you got to teach them, that you're the mama. And no matter how big they get, when they grow out of their puppyhood, you are the alpha, always the alpha. And I don't care what anybody says. There's no such thing as a male alpha. That is a made-up term. All alphas are females. I have an Airedale and a Wire Fox. They're crazy. I have a Yorkie. He's 12 years. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Lori Lazar McChesney. How are you, darling? Oh, you've had 2 Roddies. Okay, good. Then you know that, you have to be the alpha before they get big enough to realize that. See, once you train them as puppies that you're the alpha, that you are the authority in the house, doesn't matter if they get the size of an elephant, you are still the authority. Do you understand? So Howie wants Boston Terriers, and I just look at him and say, oh, I miss sleeping with a dog. I said, that's because you sleep downstairs, and we have not encouraged Gracie to use the stairs, because there was a time in people would come like Arthur and Mel and that, and they would bring a cat, and the cat would stay downstairs, right? So we trained Gracie never to go down those stairs. She'll go down other stairs, but not those ones, right? So Howie has no dog to sleep with downstairs at night. And I said, you do realize, because he's got this picture in his head that we're going to get 2 Boston Terriers. Okay, she's sleeping. That we're going to get 2 Boston Terriers, and then one's going to be his and one's going to be mine. And I said, Howie, for the first 6 months of their life, they're in training by me. Okay? Until they get used to the idea of boundaries, they sleep in the crate. They'll sleep in a crate right next to me while I'm working. And when they wake up, we go out, we have a pee, we do our routine, they run around, all of those things. But here's going to be the problem. Howie thinks once they're trained, he's going to be able to have a puppy, a dog. But they're going to be mine. You know what I mean? Hey, Sherry. My boy is a German Shepherd Husky mix. Wow. What a beautiful mix. I hope they're well trained. What won't happen? Yeah, it won't happen, unless, because it'll be spring when we get dogs. We never get dogs in the winter, puppies, because I have to go out with them. But unless when we go to the races, because they'll have to be race. They'll have to be taught to not freak out at the races with the noise, right? So when they're a little bit older, a few months old, we'll be taking them to the races. And that's when they'll probably sleep with us, right? And get used to that. A German Shepherd Spaniel mix. The only thing that doesn't seem to really mix well are labs. Everyone will say, I have lab mix. No. They can become, if they're half lab, they can become really aggressive, because you got the whole bed shaking with those scratches, Gracie. Oh, you should see the look she's given me. Can you see the look she's given me? You see that? Ooh, she caught me talking about getting more dogs. Don't think for a minute that they don't understand, because dogs are the perfect empath. That's one of the reasons why there's no such thing as a bad dog. Okay? Only people who don't understand them and don't treat them right. And I didn't get to be a good dog mom. I wasn't born a good dog mom. They taught me how to be a good dog mom. And I wasn't always a good dog mom. Oh, yeah. Okay, she's back asleep again. Did you see that dirty look? So we're not going to talk about Linda Bops anymore. Okay? What's a Carolina dog? She heard me talking about other dogs, and she's like, Labs alone are a great dog, but you cross them with like a shepherd or a husky, and there's something that crosses their wires in their instincts and their behavior. He is very well trained. The only thing he does sometimes is try to jump up if new baby boy. If new people come, because he gets too excited. But if you tell him to stay down, he will. Yeah. I train Gracie not to kiss me with her tongue. She give daddy little kisses. Just little. And unless I really request it, she'll only put her muzzle up against me, because I've always said no tongue, no tongue, no tongue. Right? My kitty was as gentle as a lamb until anyone threatened us. I bet. So, yeah, this weekend. So yesterday, I have no videos for anybody. I've got supper in the crock. I have dishes to do, but I am going to do a live reading in 15 minutes on Reading with Beverly Wolfie. I'm going to be reading the next chapter in Christie. And then at 4 o'clock, it's going to be my Patreon Monday live. I've got supper in the crock pot, the big crock pot. I put in my cottage roll and 3/4 of that cabbage and 4 potatoes and an onion. And now it's cooking, and it should be quite ready when Papa gets home from work. I had a lab beagle mix, and the vet spayed her while she was still coming out of heat, and she was very playful and well-mannered, but she was emotional all the time, like a sad emotional. Yeah. You either get that get them fixed before they come into a menses or after they've completed a full menses, like at a year old, right? Not while they're coming out of it, right? Because that you're basically cutting off. When you remove those organs, you're cutting off their emotional connection to their no hormones, right? And if they're really upset or sad or going through emotional hormones, when you do that, that kind of tends to stick. Does that make sense? I wish I could have a pit bull. That would be the one exception to the rule for a larger dogs. I would get a pity. In a friggin' heartbeat, I would get a pity. But here in Canada, they've managed to outlaw the pity in places. Cesar Millan was due to do a show in Ottawa when they wouldn't let him bring his dog, his pit bull, Caesar. He canceled, and I don't blame him. I gotta go. I gotta set up my reading, and I will see you guys on Reading with Beverly Wolfie for the next chapter of Christie. And if you're new and have not been following along on the live readings of Christie, all of my live readings go into a playlist. So you can listen to that book, but know that live readings, there's sometimes some conversation, right? I love you guys. Take care. God bless. Everybody have an amazing day. All right? Mwah! Don't forget you're loved.